Hey guys, so I just wanted to jump on real quick and do a little, chat about like the topic of being spiritual and or religious, right? Some people are saying it's the same thing, but really it's not, right? So religion tends to be more along dominance, control, force, trying to force your opinions, your beliefs, your way of being on everybody else, versus allowing other people to be who they are, what they want to believe, and in full acceptance, So if you really want to look at it, religion's more about domination, right? And this is the way it is, and this is how it has to be. And then that there's a God outside of you that is controlling everything, right? Whereas spirituality is more about love, openness, acceptance, looking within and doing your own work spiritually, right? So you are your own creator, your own God, your own awareness, your own person, instead of trying to make you out to be somebody else or in some other way that's outside of you. So I know some people are saying, oh, it's the same thing, but it's not really. And when you're creating this religion of one way, it has to be one way, religious, and we have to follow this and we have to do this, and you're trying to force other people to believe in that, you're actually creating separation, not oneness, which is whole altogether. Allowing and acceptance is being who we truly are, which is love, right? Why do you think God gave everybody something different? Why do you can call it God, source, whatever you want to call it, creator, intelligence. To me, it's an intelligence. It has no form, and through my experience, it's been an intelligence. It has nothing to do with, you know, uh, anything other than, just be love. And so, what is love? It's kindness, it's love, it's acceptance, it's allowing, it's creating, it's through, just being who you are. And when you're in the religious context, that's force, and it's putting people down, and it's saying, oh, you're a sinner, and it's bringing people down. It's not uplifting people, right? It's not being accepting, and it's not being allowing for somebody to be and feel who they truly are. Because look at the world, right? This is what's been the result of a religious domination, forcing somebody to be or who they are not being. They can't express themselves in the way that they were meant to be expressing themselves. We were not told we have to, by source or God, whatever you want to call it, that we have to be a certain way. Because if that was the fact, then why would everybody be different, right? No, we're not supposed to be one way, one thought, one mind, right? It's not that way. And my book even talks about it, that I'm channeling, right? So there's this misconcept that, it is the same thing as, and I believe McConaughey, that dude, had said that it's the same thing. He says he's religious, but it's the same thing, it's spiritual. No, it's not, right? And when you're building energy, if you know anything about energy, if you're participating in it, you're creating it, you're a part of it to become, right? So you're actually adding on into that energy for that to be, right? And that's attraction unto itself. If it's within you, it's just your belief system that you're religious. Source never said to have a religion. That was man. Man created religion. Source didn't. Your God didn't. And God isn't outside of you. God's within you. So there's a big difference between religion and spirituality. It's your concept that is the same thing, right? And when you believe in something that forces other people to be a certain way, you know, then you're kind of going against the grain, right? And not to say, people may need religion, and that's because that's where they are on their journey. They need that, and they need direction, or they need to start somewhere, in their life. And that's basically how I see religion, is like when you're not sure of who you are, you're first starting to wake up, you might need to, or like if you're in suffering, you're in bad situations, who do we seek? We seek higher power, right? And so what's there in front of you is religion. And yes, all religions, all thoughts all have the same basics, right? It's just how you are choosing to be a part of it. Are you trying to force it on other people? Are you using it for yourself? Are you, I mean, religion can be used in a good way, but generally religion is something there for those who are suffering. I lived, in a Buddhist center for a while, and everybody who came in there um, was actually suffering, right? Something, and that's why they came to the Buddhist center. And that's why a lot of people do go to religions, right? And that was part of my learning and understanding about being there. And I lived there probably about 5 years. My intention was to actually study, and my spirit guides brought me there to start because I was on the path of meditating, yoga, things like that. And all the religions really never resonated with me because it was all about force and structure and putting people down, saying you're a sinner, instead of uplifting people, right? um, so it took me away from there because it was like, I'm already in this space, I don't need to be put down anymore. And what they're talking about is not true. There's not just one way, not one God, not one. Everybody, there's so many different paths, there's so many different ways, so many different directions, and when you put yourself on a path of one way, you're limiting yourself to receive source, right? And so that's not effective. We'll just put it that way. It's not effective, right? You have to allow people to experience and flow and have the experience of the world. That's why we're here, right? And yes, it's okay to suffer. It's okay to have negative emotions. It's okay to be where we are. That's part of the experience. Why we're here, right? So to dominate people with religion, and if you look back over history, there's a lot of forced killing and hurt and traumas caused by religions, and it still is today, right? Because it doesn't allow people to be who they are, and they have to be in a closet, and they have to hide. And what does that bring? That brings darkness and shadows, right? Because it's not accepted. So when we act from that space, we're actually being a part of that negative energy and vibration that's continuing to carry on and exist in today's time space reality, right? It's still continuing. So as that is still continuing, every time you participate in it as energy, you're still creating that, right? Instead of changing and evolving. And that's why things are where they are in the moments, with that, and things are starting to come out into the light. We have to be okay with who we are and what we're doing and what we're experiencing, and acceptance. And that's the only way through, is acceptance, full acceptance, which is love. And that's what comes from source, right? It's not domination. Source didn't say, kill these people because they don't want to have this belief. Who did that? Man did that, right? Those are the people who are in control, and it's been passed down. So you can go there and be with that energy and do whatever you want, if that's what you want to do. But there's a big difference in that. And I just wanted to put that out there. When you're in light and love and understanding and acceptance of who we are, why we're here, what we're doing, experiencing, and embracing who we are, that's openness, that's freedom. It's not restricting. So when you're in religion, you're restricting beliefs. And Jesus isn't in religion. Man put Jesus in religion. It has nothing to do with that, right? Jesus is outside of religion, if you want to go in that direction, right? But a lot of people want to connect the dots. Jesus wasn't a white man with a beard and long hair, right? I've had many visions of Jesus, and I worked with Jesus in my Reiki healing sessions. And I don't go to church. I'm not religious. So being outside of religion doesn't restrict you from your interactions with Jesus because it's not connected, right? So if you want to go in that direction, all the more power to you if you need somebody to look up to help you, because he's not your savior, he's your teacher, and that's in the writings. So I just kind of want to put out there, the difference. There is big difference between religion, man-made religion, and what true love is, which is source, right? It's more open, allowing, accepting, kindness, acceptance, you know, and through that we allow ourselves to express what we need, and then we can move forward. We can look at it instead of trying to hide it and stuff it down. And when we do that, like, other things come up that are negative, you know what I mean, when we're trying to do that and then force other people. And like, I had an experience where I was parked, you know, on a public road, and somebody came by and put this little thing on my car, right? Which I don't think people, you know, people can have a right to express their opinion, but they should keep that to themselves and work on themselves with that, not try to impose. And this is where I'm going with this too, like trying to impose their beliefs from a religious point of view, like how bad it is to be, um, having, you know, a like partner, you know, gay or lesbian or however you want to term it. That's what it said on the card, and with a big X through it in a circle, from this religious estabulation, right? That's not love. That's not acceptance. And definitely it's not appropriate putting it on people's car. You can have freedom of speech, but do it in your church, do it in your parking lot. Don't put it on other people's cars, or, um, soliciting that stuff. If they want it, they will come to you. There's a law of attraction, right? You don't have to force people or put your negative energy out there for other people. Not everybody's going to be accepting of your beliefs, if that makes sense. So in that case, also, that's something you should be looking within yourself on. Why do you feel that you can't be in a space of love and acceptance for yourself to accept how other people are being? Because there's nothing that said that we can't be that way. That's man, right? That's man made up in a religion saying that's wrong and putting people down again, right? So take a look at things like that, in your life, like why you think something that somebody else is doing is wrong and your way is right. Because whenever you have that, that's an indicator that you're incorrectly seeing things, and it's not love, it's not acceptance, it's not positive energy, it's not light, it's not what we came here to experience. It's to be like everybody else, to have one way, one thought, one mind, right? Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have all these different forms of life, right? We wouldn't have dogs, cats, birds, all different kinds. It's not all supposed, just because we're human doesn't make us different from anything else in this world that's been created. We're not all supposed to have one way of being. Every bird hunts in a different way. Every bird thinks in a different way. Everything is, it's its own being, and that would include humans. We're not all meant to be in one way, right? So that's something we all have to break out of and start looking inside, finding love, finding kindness, finding truth, right, of your higher self, and stop projecting onto other people, right, what you think your world should be. We're our creators of our own self, our own world, our own experience. And if we want to be that way, then we be that way. But we don't need to express and project that on other people and make them be as we are, right? Allow people to be who they are, and to bring new thought, new awareness, and new evolution into the world, right? And raise above this old construct of ignorance, of being in religions in one way, one world, one thoughts, right? Expansion of awareness, right? And that's why we're here, to evolve, right? When we're evolving, we are evolution, right? We're not babies anymore. Like, we're evolving, not just on our physical level, but mentally, emotionally, physically, our awareness, our consciousness. Because when we come back in the next life, where we are now, we're not going to be in that same place. We're going to take on a whole new life, a new vibration, new energy, a new intelligence, a new space of awareness that we're seeing of. That's our evolution. That's our flow, right? And so when we're trying to make people fit into our reality, it's not just hurting other people, but it's hurting yourself, right? You're limiting yourself. And so I just want to kind of put out there, it's not the same, and you're actually creating a negative energy when you're doing that. So, all right, well, thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, and share. Happy journeys.